Okay, guys, so we're back, and James Cameron has absolutely put DC and Marvel on blast. So there's a quote from him where he says they act like college kids. Now, this wasn't like he was asked a question at a press conference and he sort of answered it in a wrong way and it can be taken out of context. He completely chose to talk about this. He was asked a question at the Avatar 2 press conference, and he kind of took it in a different direction and ended up just going at all the actors and the characters and Marvel Studios and DC Studios. Like, it is insane what he said. He said they act like college kids. He said no matter the age of the character, they seem to all not take anything into account and only care about what they care about and fighting the world, and they don't think of their children, and it's not realistic to what a 40-year-old or a 30-year-old with a family would be acting like. And I kind of get it, right? Like, I understand what he's talking about. But at the same time, he's a little bit of a hypocrite. Because you can go back and watch James Cameron films and see the same thing. Like, in bigger blockbuster action movies, it's very hard to create a character that's super nuanced in the way that you would create a character in some sort of indie character study film like, I don't know, Call Me By Your Name. Like, it's completely different and it's harder to do that. The characters have to go out and fight. And I could argue that for Marvel Studios, if you watch movies like TV shows like WandaVision, you see someone caring about family and clearly going through some mental struggles. And they definitely have shown that they have an ability to tap into something darker and something more deep and grounded within their characters. Definitely. But I can also see where James Cameron's coming from. But the only problem I have is that he just comes across as a hypocrite, because he's done movies in the past where clearly that's all those characters have cared about. And I think it's coming from a place of, I don't want to say jealousy. He's the biggest director of all time, but it seems like it is coming from a little place of jealousy, because his brand of the biggest director of all time is sort of under the pump by Marvel and DC, because while they're not one director, they're definitely on the rise and they're becoming the big franchises and they're rivaling his money somewhat. So I do think this is a little bit of jealousy, but I don't want to say that to such a talented filmmaker, because at the end of the day, that's what he is. He's always come across as a pretty good guy, a decent guy, and an incredible filmmaker. Like, I love all his movies, but this is just a little bit hypocritical. And people will compare this to what Martin Scorsese said about a year ago, maybe two, where he called them theme park movies, and he said they're not real cinema, they're not real movies, and he said that, they're just like a theme park ride. And that is fine, because Martin Scorsese isn't a hypocrite in saying that. He's never made a movie where the characters are any way similar to the characters you find in Marvel or DC. All of Martin Scorsese movies are incredibly deep, are written from a very vulnerable place and a real place, and nuanced and intricate and grounded. He's like, to me, personally, Martin Scorsese is the best director of all time. People may say Spielberg, but to me, he's the best director of all time. And it wasn't hypocritical in him saying that. So you can't really get mad at Scorsese for saying that. But James Cameron, you definitely can get mad at, because he is, at the end of the day, just being an absolute hypocrite. And my thoughts on it is that when you're making a superhero film, you can't go and make it some super grounded cinema experience that, a 7-year-old can go and enjoy, because that doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? A 7-year-old wants to go there and see action, fighting, laser beams, explosions, cool stuff, right? That's what I wanted to see when I was 7. Then maybe when I got to 16, 17, 18, I liked seeing more dramatic, intricate, cinematic pieces. But that's not even everyone. I'm a film buff. I love movies. I'm a writer. I want to be a filmmaker in the future. So I don't see, like, the average person who wants to go get a plumbing job or wants to work at, I don't know, Walmart, and them liking those super intricate films. They want to go see a movie and have fun. They don't want to think too hard. They don't want to be told some lecture and some essay on how to re-navigate life and challenge their perspective. They just want to have a fun time. So I can see Marvel, they need to make movies that kind of tailored towards those people, because that's the audience they're having, and they need to make those kind of movies, and they do that extremely well, while still bringing in some great intricate detail and some really grounded characters and some really real moments. DC haven't done it as much as Marvel, but they definitely have somewhat. Like, you watch the recent Batman, while that's not part of the DC extended universe, it's still a DC film. You watch the Batman trilogy, you watch Joker, like, they're bringing it in, and you could argue that Black Adam does it somewhat, and that they're looking to do it more in the future. Man of Steel, definitely. So James Cameron's just being hypocritical here. I don't quite agree. I can see where he's coming from, but I just don't think he's the right person to say it. So let me know your thoughts down below. Do you think they aren't real movies? Do you think that the characters all act like college kids? Let me know below. If you like the video, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. All the support literally means the world to me, so thank you, and I'll see you all on my next video.